Day 2 now of the so-called Black Widower trial wrapping up this afternoon, and the jury got a good look at the defendant, who police interviewed at length the night of the murders.
8 News Now investigator Kyle Payne, the only local reporter covering the trial, joining us now here live with more.
Brian, all day in court, Thomas Randolph, being retried for the murder of his wife and handyman, sat quietly in the courtroom. But he was anything but quiet during the 2008 police interview prosecutors played for the jury today, where he told his side of the story.
Did you have a key to the house?
Not long after Thomas Randolph shot his handyman Michael Miller, who police say Randolph hired to shoot his wife and stage a burglary, Randolph talked to detectives for hours.
Can you tell us anything else about him?
He wasn't a suspect yet, didn't have a lawyer with him, but he did have a story to tell, where he points the finger at Miller and seems surprised about what happened that night in 2008.
I liked him. He seemed like a really nice guy.
A really nice guy who he met one night, offered a ride home, and police say befriended and hired him to do work, even though Randolph thought he might be a criminal.
I think he has some warrants out, but I don't know.
There's a lot Randolph didn't know during that interview, and he claims he couldn't hear gunshots that night, a thread that continues through to this trial 15 years later. As you can see, Randolph wearing headphones so he can hear the lawyers and the witnesses.
Do your friends call you Tony?
Yes.
Witnesses like the victim's good friend Antoinette Beam, who told the jury Randolph would go see his girlfriend during the holidays.
There were times when Sharon was upset because Tommy had been seeing someone else, right?
Yes.
The girlfriend also testified in court today, and Beam said that was just another red flag, like when Randolph and Sharon Randolph went urn shopping not too long before her death.
But I'm her friend, so I'm allowed to tell her, I don't think someone should be planning her death.
Her death, which witnesses say, followed an unhappy marriage.
During that time period, the marriage was going well, poorly.
Very bad.
Alice Wolf worked with Sharon Randolph and spoke with her on the phone multiple times a day. She said she and Sharon Randolph went to get the victim a will, and for good reason.
On how many occasions do you think you expressed concerns to Sharon?
Probably every time I would talk to her.
Those friends who testified having trouble hiding their contempt for the man they think is responsible for killing their friend.
I'm over here, ma'am. If you could just look this way.
Sure.
Thank you. And just for the record, you appear to be glaring at Tommy as you sit here today. You'd agree with that assessment, right?
Yes.
Because you pretty much hate him, don't you?
I wouldn't say that I hate him.
Okay, use your word. What is it that you have for him?
I abhor him.
We saw Randolph's girlfriend there. They were dating while Thomas and Sharon Randolph were married. One thing the two women had in common was that Randolph had gotten life insurance policies with and on both women. Brian.
Now, Thomas Randolph had been married 6 times. 4 of those wives are dead. The Nevada Supreme Court overturned Randolph's 2017 conviction because the jury should not have heard him about being a suspect in another of those wives' deaths. You can read more on the story on our website. You'll find that at 8newsnow.com.